Hello everybody, welcome to this video. My name is Michaela and welcome to my writing YouTube channel. I post primarily writing content, but there's random stuff in here. It's kind of like whatever I want, but mainly it's writing videos. Yeah, welcome to this video. I still don't know what I'm going to title it, but in the turn of this new year and also just these past couple of months, really, not even 2026, I've been really thinking about art and creativity and what that means to me and what that means to me as somebody who loves writing and loves creating and loves storytelling. I feel as though my life is meant to be devoted to creation, if that makes sense. Not in like a concerning way, but in the way that's like I'm here to write and I'm here to tell stories and I'm here to be like in the medieval times, I would be a court jester. And as I approach 2026 and also enter my 26th year of life as a byproduct of getting older and obtaining new experiences, I'm always trying to figure out how I can best show up for myself as an artist. Okay? Does that sound like woo-woo? And I really don't mean for this to come off as some kind of woo-woo, like delusional. Maybe it's a little bit delusional. I hope it comes off as more inspiring rather than like preachy, because do your own thing, do whatever you want. I really want 2026 to be a year for me, not just posting regularly on this channel, but more so devoting myself to a creative life and stepping into myself and yourself too, whoever's listening to this, letting go of any embarrassment and letting go of worrying what people will think of you and your art and your writing or whatever, and just being able to express yourself in the way that you personally want to. And again, I've said this in videos before and I'll keep saying it again. I really do believe, and this might sound preachy, and maybe it is, but I really believe that all of us are artists. Okay. Like I want to throw up saying that because it sounds so... There's a word that I'm struggling to find, but something about that being like, we're all artists and we can all breathe and move with the wind. That's how it sounds, but I don't want it to sound like that. I just want it to be more of like, you can pick up a pencil and doodle something. Nothing, in my opinion, is more rewarding when you do these things for yourself. And I am trying to stress the importance to myself this year and to others listening that in order to live your life to the fullest and to be the creator that you want to be, you have to show up for yourself, which sounds so obvious when you say it out loud. Duh, 1 + 1 is 2. But it is also hard to find the time and to be able to have access to that, which is a whole other umbrella of conversation that can have a whole thesis essay too. What it means to have time and the privilege to have access to being able to be creative on your free time. That, just know that conversation is there. Okay, that's part of the thought process here. I've just hooted and hollered for a lot, and so I hope I can edit this to make some semblance of a coherent message. So last week I wrote every single day and I filmed it. This is kind of like a collection of a week's worth of writing and a week's worth of just showing up for myself and writing and having fun. The point of this is, one, show and tell, so I can show you what I wrote, but two, hopefully in some way it inspires you to do the things that you love. I hope that you will be able to find pockets of time in your day to be able to work on them for even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 minutes can make a huge difference in your own creative life. In the moment, it doesn't seem like 20 minutes is a lot of time, but if you find little pockets of time in your day to either go on your phone and just write a little thing down on your phone or like get inspired by an idea and write that down, that adds up. And for example, last year I tried to do the artist's way. I had 2 weeks left and then I gave up. So that really is super uninspiring. The point is, one of the tasks is to do something called morning pages. Morning pages are what it sounds like. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you write 3 pages consecutively. Honestly, there's no rules. It could be anything. And if you can't think of anything, it could be the same line over and over again. The practice is just to get writing every single day. And when I started it back in March of last year, I was like, this is what the hell am I supposed to write about? And I journal. I'm a girl with a diary. I love a diary. I used to journal every day until I became somebody that journaled like every once in a while. Okay, these are my morning pages books, and I have 2 more that I cannot find, so this is not even it. This is the one that I'm currently using right now. This is a gift from my sister. How wonderful, how beautiful. Incredible. And this was my first morning pages. I have a point to all of this. My point is, when you start doing these little by little, my morning pages take me 15 minutes a day. And you think about it and you're like, okay, but like that kind of seems like a long time. But also I would spend 15 minutes scrolling on TikTok and then add an additional 5. But once you start writing every single day and it accumulates over time, you get to look back not only at how much you wrote, but your growth through that period of time. The stuff I wrote in March of last year was so cynical in comparison to what I'm writing right now. But the main point that I would like to stress is you don't notice how much you're doing because obviously you're only adding 3 pages a day. But over time, you don't realize actually how much work you have done for yourself or like for a project if you work on it bit by bit. It makes me think of that quote that everybody loves: time will pass anyway. So might as well just do it. Anyway, too long didn't read. 2026 is all about me spending my time the way I would like to by showing up for myself. And so this video, my God, I can talk. This video is just a collection of me writing throughout this week. I hope that it inspires you to just do the things that you want to do in your life. The world is your oyster. Really take the reins in 2026 of your life. Anyway, enjoy the rest of this video. I'll see you at the end in the exact same outfit because I'm going to film the outro right now. Because that's just how YouTube works. All right, bye. Oh God. I didn't even know. I didn't even know this was here. Okay, like I mentioned in the intro, which I have yet to film, is this dying? Beep again. It's dying. Okay, well, we'll see if she lasts. I'm writing every single day, as mentioned, because I just love to write. And it's also just something that I am prioritizing in 2026, just like how I did in 2025. Oh my gosh, you join me in an angle that you haven't seen in a while, unless you watch that poem writing video I did. Ha 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 ha, everybody. It's me doing a voiceover, my first ever voiceover. So the microphone died. Yeah, how hilarious. And this is me doing a voiceover. That's me showing off my new corner shelf. How amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about how wonderful my corner shelf is. And yeah, now honestly wish I had that girl on TikTok who can read lips because I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm doing my best here. I think I'm just saying about how I am going to do a writing prompt and I'm going to do that prompt generator that I always use. And so this is the prompt that I used. Oh, also, I think I was maybe also talking about the angle of where I was sitting and I was like, wow, like this is a new angle that nobody has seen before unless you watched my Hosier Greek mythology poem video, which is a really good video. You should watch it. I'm giving myself a little self plug. I really liked filming that video and I really liked the poem that I wrote. So go watch that video if you haven't, and that you'll see that the corner shelf was not there. How fun! Isn't that crazy, the passage of time? So these are the words that I got. I think I also mentioned in the video that I was not using all of these things. I only use what I like. And yeah, okay, so now I'm gonna write now. See you later. And here's a time lapse of me writing. So fun. This is the first of many time lapse, I'm sure. Okay, voiceover done. Bye. Hoping that the microphone works. Anyway, you cannot see this, but I will read it to you. I wrote a total of 432 words. What I intended to be a piece of short fiction that I could have just finished beginning to end turned into something a lot more, and it's nowhere close to done. But I'm going to read to you what I have, and then maybe someday this week I'll keep working on this project. Maybe I'll never come back to it, which is, I fear, a habit of mine that I'm trying to break. Just as a reminder, the prompts: love and relationships, milkshake, librarian, marigold, thistle, nightshade, colorful, everything must sparkle. Also, I disregard when it says theme, item, character, color palette, mood, and challenge. I just use the actual prompt that they give me, like love and relationships, colorful, marigold. Like, I don't. Does this make sense what I'm trying to say? Here is the piece I wrote. Also, I have not edited this fresh off the press, so I'm reading this with you at the same time. In the wet stickiness of August summer, Riley thought about sticking her head into the gas station ice freezer. It would only be for a moment, and nobody would notice. If anything, they'd probably join her if they did. It had been a while since it was this hot. The staticky man on the radio said that today's temperature, an astronomical 34 degrees, was the highest it had been all year, and that somebody should try baking cookies on the dashboard of their car. Riley's dad had tried to cook an egg on the hood of his car last year on a particularly hot day. He left it in the burning sun and came back to an unforgivable stain that still drives around town. But today was brutal. the type of sweltering heat that made even gnats leave you alone. Riley sat behind the counter, flipping her rings between her fingers while fanning her face with an anti-vape brochure. She had 15 minutes left of her shift, and once that minute hand reached 5 p.m., she'd make a beeline straight for Joey's diner. Nothing but a milkshake and working air conditioning could cure this heat fatigue. 2 minutes before Riley was freed, a red Bronco pulled into the station. Riley's heart hammered in her chest. Do not let that be Tyler Chase's car. But there was nobody else in this town that had a red Bronco, and nobody else in this town rich enough to have one. Riley watched Tyler hop out of his car and run over to the passenger door. Riley's heartbeat pounded in her head now. Her lips went dry. She watched as she stepped out. Tan legs and in a marigold yellow sundress, Esther Lynn moved like a spring breeze. Don't come in here, don't come in here, Riley thought. It was impossible not to be completely and utterly overwhelmed by Esther. They met at the school library while Riley was returning a 6-month overdue book, and Esther was looking to ask the librarian if there was any volunteer work to be done. Did you like that book? That was the first thing Esther had ever said to her, and sometimes Riley would replay that in her head like a record tape. Riley looked down at her hands because she had forgotten what book she was even holding. It was Lord of the Flies. She had checked it out for English class. She did not read a single page. Yeah, it wasn't bad, she said. Kids terrorizing kids on an island. What's not to like? Riley watched the movie, obviously, and that's all I've written today, and I like it. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. If I continue this, I'm going to talk about how, like, Esther Lynn makes everything sparkle, because that's one of the prompts. And I think it'd be fun if I could get every single thing in. I got librarian in, milkshakes in there. The theme is obviously love and relationships, so I have that. Colorful mood. It's summertime. She's in a marigold dress. Anyway, I really like this prompt. I had fun with it, and I really like what I wrote. So that's it for Monday. Yes, today is Monday. That's gonna be it for today, and I will see you tomorrow for more writing. Bye. Okay, it's the next morning, and I've got a friend. This is Charlie, everybody. If you don't know that, that's my dog. And he's going to join us for this portion of the video. It is the very next morning, and I have 10-ish minutes before I have to go do other things. And so I thought I'd just do a little bit of writing. I really like what I wrote yesterday. I read it over again this morning, and I was like, wow. That was kind of good. I think what I want to do this morning, because I only have a limited amount of time, is to write something very short, or a short piece of fiction, maybe like 50 words max. I also have gifted to me, when I used to work in childcare by a family, these writing prompts. And the thing is, these prompts are all like kind of journal-y prompts, and so none of them are really like writing prompts, but I think I'm just going to pull one out at random. Hello! He's so cute. You are so cute. And he knows that too. Okay, I'm going to I've just been flipping through these for so long. Okay, this one. Can success and balance coexist? This, like, how am I supposed to write a piece of fiction from that? Maybe I can. Maybe I can write a poem from that. But I don't love that prompt for fiction. You know what I mean? Okay, I can't do this with one hand. I need like a third arm. Okay, let's pick another one just to see. I feel most productive when, see, like, these are journaling prompts, and no shame to that. Like, love a journaling prompt. Sometimes I do use these to journal. That's why I know half of these are all journaling prompts. Not half, all of them. So it's kind of like tough. Okay, maybe we just don't use a prompt today, and I just write what comes to mind and see what happens. Okay, so at the end of this, you're either gonna get a short piece of fiction from me or a poem, and I don't know which one it's gonna be. So we'll see. I will check back in about 10 minutes. It's probably gonna be another time lapse for you. Let me put you in a place where you can see Charlie, because I feel like that's okay. Well, he doesn't want to be seen. Never mind. Okay, hi. I hope Charlie kept you great company. I wrote for about 10 minutes, which is granted not a lot, but I'm happy with what I have so far. I went with a poem. It's a rhyming poem. It's a nameless poem right now, and it's not complete. Like it stops halfway. Because I just I'm out of time. I'm out of time. It's a poem that's going to be about the state of the current world, but also about the past as well. Specifically about my own family's history and what life was like in the 1970s in Southeast Asia. Again, keep in mind it's not finished. But let me just read to you what I have. I look out into the open world with my mouth agape and my stomach curled. There are fields of green and oceans of blue. All of us here are just passing through. My mother used to say to me that her favorite place to dream was under the shade of a great palm tree. She'd wished for a world that did not explode her neighbor's house at the end of the road. Her mother said the bombs were stars falling from the sky to soothe the baby boy that had started to cry. And that's kind of all I have. Not long at all, but still writing nonetheless. And I think that if I worked at this and fixed up the pacing of it and fixed up the fluidity and the motion of this poem, it could be cool, it could be good. So I will keep working on this and see where that takes me. That is my morning of writing, which wasn't that much, but I'm happy with it nonetheless. And Charlie went to go sit at his spot, and I will say goodbye to you. Goodbye. Bye. We're live on air right now. We're not live on air. No one can hear you. I'm also not going to show your face, don't worry. Since she's reading Cersei and since she's making a horse stamp. Wait, can you just show the camera again, but just cover your face in it? Incredible. Thank you. Can I put that in the video? I don't know why I'm listening. I have you in my ear. She said something with the centaur because she's reading Cersei and she's making a horse stamp. Okay, done. Can I have one more other thing? Centaur and perfect. I should have honestly had you not in my ear. Do you want to be in here? No, you're just your voice if you want. I mean, we don't have to. I can cut you out. After all, I am the editor and producer.
Okay, well, the second prompt or piece of your prompt that came to my mind was poison apple for some reason.
Poison apple, centaur, and short fiction. I can do that. I can work with that. That's perfect.
Just gonna go for it. You're gonna be the first to see it.
It's amazing.
Horsies! It's so cute.
Okay, I finished writing the piece. I was just telling Jess that I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Did I say that? What did I say? I don't love the ending, is what I meant to say, but I need to go take out the trash, so there are more important things to do. Okay, I'm gonna read this to you, and then you can tell the people what you feel about it. The crickets made the summer night sound so lonely. Nothing but tall grass and quiet chirps, and my finger tracing the dotted sky. Before Jonah died, he used to take me out here in the backyard and told me which dots connected to each other and the pictures that they made. He said all of them little dots had names, and they held hands to make bigger shapes in the sky. Can you imagine? Do you see those 3 dots up there? Jonah took my hand and guided my finger up, tracing along the night sky. I never ever saw what he saw, but I would always say yes. I loved his excitement. I loved his happiness. That's the archer. And you see here, Rosie? That's the rest of his body. He guided my hand around and I saw nothing of what he was showing me. He's half man, half horse. At this, I laughed. He raised himself up on his elbows and turned to me. A centaur, he said to me. A centaur, he said to me, his eyes bright with wonder. He always spoke to me in this way. He made everything so grand, so magical. He laid back down in awe, his hands resting behind his head. I copied him. Back then, there was very little of myself that wasn't made of my big brother. He was everything I have ever needed. In the early spring of '83, when I had just turned 13, Jonah died from anaphylaxis shock. There was peanut butter in the apple pie that somebody had brought to the school fair. I hadn't known until hours later when Principal Scott pulled me from class to tell me. And that's all I have.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? The first part was so pretty, though. How do you think of that? How sad.
I know. I could have made it happy. It's okay. Jonah is up with the constellations. All right. I'm going to go take the trash out.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye. Oh, my hair looks so oily. Well, you're welcome. So I did some writing yesterday, which you've probably seen from the clip that I just inserted. I did not write that much because I did not have that much time and I was overstimulated. And when I don't feel like writing, I write haikus because I feel like those are quick, those are fun. I wrote 3 haikus yesterday, and so these are them. Please enjoy. Okay, the first one, lazy writing day. I just have no energy. Here are some haikus. That's the first one. The next haiku is based off of one of my favorite Greek myths, and it is the myth of Eurydice and Orpheus. On the journey up, doubt rained down on Orpheus, and he turned around. And my last haiku that I wrote is based off of a show that has been plaguing my mind ever since I watched it. Here it is. Let me know what you think. Heated rivalry. Melt against my wanting soul. See you on the ice. And those are my haikus. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll probably do a little bit more writing later on in the evening, but I just wanted to put this with yesterday's clip because I know I didn't say anything in the clip, so it was just me writing. I hope you enjoyed that, and write some haikus. I love haikus. Write a little haiku in the comments below. Do your worst. All right, see you later. Sorry, I only know one hairstyle, and it's this. I really want to continue writing the first piece that we yeah together that we wrote on the first day, the one with Riley and Esther, just because I feel like that's what I want to do. So I'm going to work on that for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll share that with you, and that will be the extent of my writing today. I'm going to write. See you in a bit. We'll chat in like 20 minutes. Okay, I did some writing. Sometimes writing comes like this to me, and sometimes it just takes a while to even get a sentence out. And I feel like tonight was one of those nights, and that's fine. Just to preface, that's fine. But I did add to the piece. I think I added, how many words is this? 233 words. Um, that's not bad. We're continuing from when Riley meets Esther in the library and she's holding Lord of the Flies. And obviously, Riley didn't read the book, but she watched the movie. Riley watched the movie, obviously. Esther laughed and it turned Riley's vision technicolor. And for the rest of the school year, it was only Esther Lynn that occupied her mind, what she was wearing, who she was with, and how Riley could be around her orbit. Esther was the president of the yearbook club, and soon Riley was a member. Riley had no interest in the yearbook or taking photos, but everything she did that garnered the attention of Esther, she did in a heartbeat. Any compliment, any praise that she received from Esther, she let cling to the palate of her mouth, savoring the sound of it before swallowing it whole. Wow, these are beautiful candids, Riley, Esther would say. You really have a talent for catching these little moments. And Riley would chew the insides of her mouth red raw, thinking about having Esther alone with a camera in a field of wildflowers. Esther smiled at her, and Riley wondered if anyone had ever felt the way she did in that moment. Nobody ever tells you how much of yourself you lose when you have a crush, but nobody tells you how much you discover. And Riley discovered that a life with Esther Lynn was the one that she wanted to live in. And then Esther started to date Tyler Chase. So that's all I wrote. That's all I added to this piece. Very happy with it. I like some of these lines. I am obsessed with Riley and Esther. Don't know what's going to happen to them, but I hope I continue their story. Anyway, it's 10:36. It's getting late, and that's all I'm going to write tonight. Anyway, okay, bye. See you tomorrow. Okay, hello. It's the next day, and tonight, whatever. I want to write a piece of micro fiction, and I want to write a story in 50 words. Exactly 50, no more, no less. So that's the challenge of the evening, and now you're gonna watch another time lapse. Maybe I'll do a little topic generator so I know what the 50 word story is gonna be about. Okay. What piece of technology is really frustrating to use? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna lock in, and we'll see each other in a bit when I'm done writing. As always, enjoy the 15 millionth time lapse in this video. Okay. Well, I wrote something. I don't know if it's great, but I'm gonna share it anyway because that's the whole point of this. It doesn't really matter. The title of this piece is called Where's the remote? But I don't think it really needs a title, but whatever. I gave it one. And here is my exactly 50-word piece. The house is stripped from head to toe. The couch cushions are torn from their seats and blankets become rugs. Furrowed brows and pensive eyes turn into wagging, accusatory fingers. The channel stays on, and the dim glow of the television laughs at the remote waiting on the coffee table. So, obviously, this piece is about a remote control. It's frustrating to use because sometimes you lose it and you don't know where it is, and you tear up your entire couch looking for it. Hence, this piece. Anyway, that's how I interpreted that's this is how I interpreted the prompt. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and this is also not the end of the video. I don't know why I keep doing this, but and welcome to Sunday, everybody. I am actually not going to write in front of you today, so I'll save you from another time lapse. I actually ran a writing workshop today, and that was really, really fun. And so we did a little bit of writing during the workshop, and so I just thought I'd share that here. I'm also going to post on the screen the slides and the prompts and the activities that we did today. We did a poetry activity and we did a fiction activity, and so I'll post those up here for you guys to do what you want with that. I'll put this here as an extra little workshop activity if that compels you to write. And I wanted to share with you, to close off this week of writing, the poem that I wrote. I did the 2026 inventory poem. Without further ado, this is the poem that I wrote today during the workshop. There is a pile I see in a big yellow bag, and these are the things I will carry with me. My love for reading will stay at the top, and so will my writing habit that I refuse to drop. I'll keep getting dinners with my best friend and hope that these nights will never end. I'll sing and I'll laugh and I'll write some more, and maybe I'll start being better at mopping my floors. I just needed a rhyme. I'm pretty good at mopping my floors. I'll call my partner and we'll laugh and talk, and when the weather is nice, we'll go on some walks. The life that I live is the one that I make, and I get to decide what to give and to take. And that's my poem that I wrote. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share for my Sunday writing. And yeah, I will see you at the outro. I'm sure that when I film my intro, which I have yet to film, I'm also going to film an outro. So I will see you in the same clothes that I saw you in for the intro. See you later. Bye. And welcome to the outro. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed the things that I wrote this week. Let me know if you have a favorite. Let me know if you did any of the prompts. Please share any work if you feel like you want to in the comments below, because I love reading people's work. So that was this video. I will see you in the next one. I wish everybody a safe and healthy 2026 with the state of the world right now. Take care of your communities, take care of the people around you, and have fun. Bye!